I found that when most people are looking for homes in the San Antonio area, they usually fall into one of two camps. They're either cool with an existing home in an established area with lots of character, or they're just all about the latest design options and the easy maintenance that comes with new construction. But the new home scene here ain't all sunshine and rainbows, and if you're in the new construction camp, then you better stay tuned because I'm keeping it all the way real about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm giving you the top 3 pros and 3 cons for the new construction out here in San Antonio. So let's get into it. Con number 1 is living in a construction zone. Now, when my family and I first moved to San Antonio, we found this amazing home in a brand new subdivision that backed right up to a greenbelt. And at the time, it was literally on the far extreme edge of San Antonio. Wasn't nothing back there. Until about 3 months later when they started cutting in a brand new subdivision right behind me. And for the next 6 months, we had all this noise from earth movers and dump trucks cutting things up and tearing out trees right behind us, even early in the morning on a Saturday. There's this saying about living in a construction zone here in San Antonio: it'll be beautiful when it's finished. Now, I hope you're luckier than I am, because I knew at least a couple times a year driving through these new home subdivisions showing houses, I'd end up with nails in at least one of my tires. And it's not at all uncommon to be hearing loud music and gas-powered generators and nail guns and power saws all day while contractors out here building these houses. So if you're working from home, it ain't gonna be no peace and quiet. And don't even get me started on these big old piles of dirt and debris sitting around a lot of these subdivisions with the wind blowing trash around everywhere. I don't even take the time to wash my car anymore before driving through one of these things, because I already know I'm just gonna come out the other side looking all kind of ashy. Pro number 1 is the affordability and the incentives. One of the things that I really do like and appreciate about living in San Antonio is that in most of the zip codes around here, you're gonna find a really wide range of pricing on homes. And the new construction scene here is also a really good representation of that. Whether you're just starting out buying your very first home and you're looking for something that you can live in and own and finally call yours, or if you're thinking about moving up into something larger for more space to spread out, and even if you're to the point in life where you're thinking about scaling down and looking for something a little bit more smaller and more manageable, the new home scene here in San Antonio is going to have you covered on every front. A lot of the master plan communities here have also got their own amenities with parks and walking trails and sport courts, gyms full of workout equipment and large pools with plenty of space for you to be able to spend time outside with the family. And the HOAs also do a really good job with community activities like food trucks, outside workouts, family nights in the park, and just a lot of other activities to get the neighbors engaged and spending time outside for a chance to get to know each other. And my team and I, when we're talking to folks coming out here from the East Coast and the West Coast or other more expensive cities, they really just can't believe themselves when they see how affordable it is to buy or build a brand new home here in San Antonio. And I'm not just talking about one part of the city either. We've got dozens and dozens of communities that are actively building right now all across San Antonio. And there's still options out there for homes starting in the low 300,000s too. The incentives that the builders out here are offering are beyond amazing, and they usually run different specials in different parts of the year depending on what their inventory looks like. We've seen them do everything from offering home automation packages to buying down your interest rate, providing thousands of dollars for closing costs, and in a lot of cases even giving tens of thousands of dollars worth credits towards additional upgrades to help with customizing your new home. I mean, these builders are really digging deep right now to entice folks to come out and build a brand new home in a brand new community. Really, if you think about it, it's almost like they're giving away free money. Okay, hold up, it's not exactly free money. I could probably get in trouble for saying that. Con number 2 is that everything is new. Now, I know this might sound counterintuitive to this video, okay, but there are definitely some trade-offs to living in a newer developed area. If you're into a more established area with mature landscaping, homes with character, and if you're looking for a little more flair in your architecture, then San Antonio has so many amazing neighborhoods for you to choose from. But you probably ain't gonna find that with new construction in these newer communities. When my team and I conduct our initial home buyer consultation, we always make it a point to ask questions like, what's important to you about the next community you live in? What are you looking for in a neighborhood? What are you hoping to stay away from? And when we get answers like, I really don't want something that's like cookie cutter, or I'd like a little more space between me and my neighbors, or how about, I really like to spend time outside and some shade would really be nice. We know right off the bat that new construction probably isn't for you. I mean, it'd be really nice if in these new home subdivisions that they could build the homes in between the trees, but they don't. Growing up in Kansas, I had this massive shade tree in my front yard that I used to climb all the time, and I might have fell out of that thing once or twice. And that's just one of the things you don't really see a lot in these brand new communities. The first thing they always do is cut all the trees down before they end up putting the houses in, and they got it looking like the surface of the moon out here, and all you get is these little baby trees in your landscaping package. So there's really not a lot of shade to be found out here unless you've got something like a covered patio on the back of your house or something. And I really feel sometimes for the people whose back patios end up facing south, you can't really spend no time out there in these Texas summers without frying like a piece of bacon. And speaking of Texas heat, make sure you water them baby trees, okay? Because apparently I didn't water mine enough and it ended up dying on me that first summer after we moved here. We had a funeral for that tree and everything. Don't judge me. Pro number 2 is that there are just so many options. Recent reports rank San Antonio as one of the top metros that people are moving to in the entire country. And to keep up with all that demand, we have literally dozens and dozens of some of the top builders in the nation building out some of their most amazing communities that you're going to find anywhere in Texas right here in the Alamo City. We've got entry-level builders for first-time home buyers, mid-range builders for move-ups, and even high-end builders for semi-custom and full-on custom construction for a brand new home right here in the city. And when it comes to finding the right new home community for you to live in, San Antonio leaves absolutely nothing to be desired. You'll find everything from your typical suburban communities with lots of amenities to hill country subdivisions with homes perched on tops of hills with views for miles, and even brand new urban living with funky, cool architecture with downtown San Antonio and the Riverwalk right in your own backyard. And let's not forget about all the land that we got out here in Texas too. There's several acreage communities with large lots and home sites for you to build your perfect dream home with the backdrop of the Texas sky and the Texas hill country for you to really enjoy what you're getting into. We're at the forefront of all the latest design trends and building standards, along with the very best in materials, craftsmanship, and energy efficiencies. And when it comes to customizing your new home, we've got you covered with design centers spread out all across the city with nearly limitless options for you to add your own style and your own character to where you live. And it's all those options in particular that a lot of our new construction clients have told us that they really enjoyed and appreciated when it came time to designing their home. They wanted to go the new home route so that they could get exactly what they wanted, so that they could live in a home that truly reflected their personality and their lifestyle. They wanted to choose their own home site, choose their own home design, and in a lot of cases, it even comes down to choosing your own doorknobs. So no matter what you're into, you can rest assured knowing that San Antonio has plenty of new home options for you to choose from to give you more control over where you live and how you live. Con number 3 is builder competition. Now, all of the things that make building a home really exciting are the exact same things that are going to turn the builder into your main competition if you're ever trying to sell your home while the community is still actively in construction. The warranties, the incentives, and the ability to get exactly what you want in a new home are what make it really tough to compete with builders for home buyers that are looking in your neighborhood. And when the agents on my team talk with our clients about building a home in a new community, one of the first questions that we like to ask them is, how long are you planning on staying in this home before you're thinking about selling it in the future? We always like to ask that because we've had a lot of people in the past tell us stuff like, this is my forever home. When I end up leaving this house, they're gonna be taking me out of here feet first, only to call us up 2 or 3 years later looking to sell. And while we always tell people that our crystal ball only sees about 6 months into the future at best, there's definitely some questions that we can ask a new home sales rep that'll help us understand what kind of position you're gonna be in if you're looking at selling that home sometime in the next 3 to 5 years. Things like, what's the master plan for this community? How many other builders are also building in here? How many homes will this community have when it's fully built out? Over how many phases? What's your anticipated schedule for price increases? Now, I know this isn't the really exciting stuff like picking out your upgrades and your color packages, but the answers to these questions are really gonna help us determine whether or not you're going to be in the position of losing money if you need to sell your home in the next couple of years. Or if you're going to be in the sweet spot when it comes time to decide the list price on your home a little bit later down the road. Which, by the way, and this is really important, is about 10% below what somebody else could go out and build that exact same home for. It's always going to cost more to build it new than it is going to be to buy it existing, and that's the main reason for these incentives from a lot of these builders. Anything less than a 10% spread between your existing home and a brand new home, and most of the time, buyers are going to go the new home route. They're going to pay a little bit more. They're going to get those incentives, pick everything they want, and go for the brand new home purchase. Now, I know this is like way down the road and maybe even years into the future, but as your real estate team, it's something that we like to take into consideration because when you sleep well at night, we sleep well at night. Pro number 3 is location. Now, as I'm sure you already know, when it comes to real estate, it's always about location, 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 which basically makes it the first, second, and third most important thing to think about. And when it comes to new construction here in San Antonio, it's gonna be really tough to find a brand new community that's gonna be in a bad location. If you're checking out the map, you'll see that most of the new home communities in San Antonio are gonna be outside Loop 1604 and the suburbs on the outskirts of the city. Our suburbs in the far west, the northwest, the far north, and the northeast are some of the most most desired locations that you're going to find anywhere throughout the entire city. And it's where a lot of people tend to focus their home search when they're looking for a more laid-back suburban kind of lifestyle. If you've got school-aged kids, they'll be enrolled in some of the very best elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, and in some of the highest rated school districts that you're going to find anywhere in the Alamo City. And it's where they're going to have access to some of the best teachers and some of the best coaches that you're going to find anywhere in the state of Texas. You've got access to some of the very best shopping and restaurants and grocery stores and entertainment. And when it comes to things to do on the evenings and the weekends, many of San Antonio's newest communities are super close to parks and movie theaters and golf courses, our theme parks like Six Flags and SeaWorld, and even hill country resorts and spas for staycations right there in the city. And we've even got a couple of lakes in the area too if you want to do some boating or if you just want to spend some time out on the water over the weekends. And trust me, I could just keep going on and on about things to do, but that's just what's going to be right here in your own backyard here in the suburbs. Most of these neighborhoods are also building close to major highway systems here in the area, so you've got quick access to downtown San Antonio, the Riverwalk, and pretty much anything that you're wanting to do in San Antonio area, you can get there within about a 25 to 30 minute drive. So if you want the best of both worlds and you want to live in a newer community with lots of amenities in a safe area, but you're also wanting quick access to fun stuff to do, you really can't go wrong with the new construction here in San Antonio. Now, if you're considering a move in the near future, my team and I, we're getting calls every day from folks just like you, researching homes and neighborhoods in the Alamo City, and we really dig it. So if you're thinking about buying or selling a home anywhere in the San Antonio area, then give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or click the link in the description to schedule a Zoom call with a member of my team. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back in San Antonio, Texas.